One type of videos you can encounter on the skincare side of TikTok is something like this. A creator showing you products after products that are supposedly going to do wonders for your skin. Some of them are hydrating or anti-aging or brightening, they prevent breakouts or protect your skin barrier. You know, there is a product for everything. You can also find something like this. TikToks in which women are showing their, in my opinion, incredibly long and complicated skincare routines, like the girl you are seeing right now, whose routine is 16 steps long. You don't have to seek out this content if you're even slightly interested in skincare or self-care in general. Sooner or later you are going to encounter a video like this, and it's incredibly easy to believe that a routine this long or owning this many products is normal, and even more so that this is something you need to have a healthy and glowy skin. So you start buying stuff. At the beginning, it's just one product that's supposed to do absolutely everything for your skin. It's supposed to fix all of your problems, or at least that's what TikTok recommendations are claiming. Then you buy 2 types of cleanser because one just isn't enough, 3 or 4 serums that have complementary ingredients, and something for your skin barrier, obviously, because at this point it's absolutely essential. What you end up with is shelves and drawers full of products that either didn't work for you or they made your skin worse, and an empty bank account because skincare can be expensive, especially if you are buying this many products. And trust me, I know this from personal experience. I think the golden era of skincare overconsumption started around 2020, you know, when the pandemic hit and we were all kind of just like at home watching TikToks. To some of us, skincare became a hobby because it was something we could do from our home, and it was genuinely fun. I liked experimenting with skincare, trying out new products, researching different ingredients. Like, honestly, it was fun, interesting, and it was kind of like taking my mind off things that were happening at the time. But the thing about TikTok advice is that if you listen to it a little bit too much, it's very easy to fall into like kind of like a mindless overconsumption, and I ended up with a very long and complicated skincare routine that would actually break me out. And I wasn't the only one with an experience like this.
Yes, I was unfortunately a victim of the great skincare overconsumption era.
So was I.
Girl, my skin went through it. Look at that cystic acne. I would literally get pimples over and over again, and then they would leave these dark red marks and they would never go away. This was my skin at its worst, and I was truly in such a bad place because of my skin. Bad skin takes a toll on your mental health. The texture, the rosacea, the scarring, the broken skin barrier, and I was overloading my skin with so many different brands, so many different skincare products. I didn't realize that I was doing more harm than good. Literally chemical warfare on my face.
I went through a very similar experience to her. I was buying products that people on TikTok were recommending, and very soon I ended up with skin that was breaking out constantly. It was red, it was like itchy sometimes, and generally speaking, I was just worse off than at the beginning. I'm editing this video right now, and I wanted to put some pictures of what my skin looked like at the time, but I realized I literally have no pictures of myself, no selfies, nothing, because I was so insecure about how I looked that I literally like didn't take any pictures of myself, so you can imagine how bad that was. The worst part was I couldn't even tell which products were the problem because I would just like start using them all at once. So what I decided to do was to stop doing everything for like a good month or 2. I'm not sure right now, but I just wanted to give my skin time to like regenerate after this experience. And after that, I started adding products one by one so I could control which ones are actually helpful, which make my skin worse, and probably most importantly, which products don't make a difference, but for some reason I'm still buying them. What I ended up with was like the simplest and shortest routine I could imagine. In the morning, I only wash my face with water and then I put an SPF on, and in the evening, if I have makeup on, I take it off with micellar water. After that, I wash it with CeraVe, I don't know how you guys pronounce it, with that anyway. And at the end, I put on either vitamin A, Vaseline, or a Nivea cream. I, alternate between them every single day. And my skin honestly looks just so much better than it did when I was like following all that TikTok advice. I hardly ever break out. The only like zit I have right now is right here, but I usually wear glasses, and this is where my glasses touch my skin when I smile. So I assume that's why, I very often get like a zit here. Now, I know that certain skin types require like a longer routine. I know there are people who would definitely benefit from using more products than I do. So by no means, I really don't want to shame anyone who has like a long skincare routine, as long as it's something that they developed for themselves and they just know it works for their particular skin type. I just think not everyone needs this very long and complicated routine, because adding more products just to use more products isn't necessarily like the best choice for everybody. But the thing about TikTok advice is that, in my opinion, it's pushed as universal. I mean, on one hand, you know that certain products only work for certain people because of their specific skin type and diet and climate and all those other factors. But on the other hand, the way they frame it in their videos makes it seem as if their recommendations were the right choice for everybody. And I fell into this trap when I was using like niacinamide and hyaluronic acid and an eye cream, a toner, like a bunch of other stuff as well. My skin was just horrible, even though I was layering all those products the way that the TikTok gurus told me to do, because I was sold this idea that I need all those products to prevent aging and to have this very like beautiful glowy skin. I was trying to force myself into a routine that just simply wasn't working for me. I sometimes do wonder if maybe I'm not doing enough to protect my skin from aging, but then again, I think that if my routine constantly breaks me out, then I'm just going to be worse off than if I just used a few products that I know work well for me. And yes, with some products, it might take a while for your skin to kind of adapt to them, and you might break out during that period. But I just think that if something constantly breaks me out for a very long time, then that product just isn't for me. For example, my skin hates retinol and retinol as well. I tried both, but for some reason it loves vitamin A, even though vitamin A is a retinoid, I think. I'm not sure how this works, but I know my skin hates retinols and it loves vitamin A. But this is not something you will hear from TikTok creators, because instead of telling you that maybe you should lay off some products, they are more likely to tell you to just buy something new that's going to fix that problem. There is a routine for clogged pores, for oily skin, for barrier support, you name it. Because of the experience I had, I find it really hard to trust creators who are using like a bunch of products every single day, because I don't believe they can properly test them out. The problem isn't necessarily that they have any ill intention or that they are lying. Most of them probably believe what they are saying. The problem is that they are not in a position to know. If you're using, let's say, 10 products every single day, and then you add an 11th, how do you separate, isolate the effect of that 11th product? Like, you cannot do this because your skin doesn't respond just to the new ingredient, but to the whole routine that you have. And again, I know this from personal experience, because when I was using so many products, I just couldn't tell which ones were good and which weren't. Like, it wasn't really an experiment, it was more layering myself with a bunch of stuff, hoping they work well together. And when they weren't, I couldn't even tell if this was because different ingredients were like interacting with each other, or because there was one single product that was causing the damage. And I think creators who are using so many products every single day can't really determine if their skin is doing better because this new product is so great, or because that product merged with their whole routine and that's what's giving the effect. There is also an incentive question. A creator who has a 15-step skincare routine always has something to talk about, to recommend, to make a video about. If they had a minimalistic, established routine, they would sooner or later run out of things to talk about. And the more products they talk about, the more likely they are to get PR. I mean, that's why we see so many skincare influencers with those absolutely massive collections of skincare. They aren't buying it themselves, they get a lot of the stuff in PR. I'm not like against skincare influencers in general. I really enjoy watching some of them. I think some of them give really great advice, but I think it's hard to determine the ones who are genuinely knowledgeable from the ones who will say absolutely anything just to keep their business going. You know, the ones who will recommend you every single product, even if it doesn't work for them, just so brands send them more PR. And when you buy into this advice, you start feeling the need to buy and try out every single new product, because every single new product promises absolutely amazing results for anti-aging, for brightening, for hydrating. So you buy it just to test it out, and then you end up with something like this.
Let's declutter my ridiculous skincare collection. This is a box of unopened backups, and these are two mostly open drawers. I use barely any of this, so 90% has to go today.
You end up with buckets full of products that either didn't work for you, didn't change anything, or maybe they made your skin worse, or you just didn't like them for some reason. And I don't know about you guys, but anytime this happened to me, anytime I tried a product and it just didn't work for me, I felt so guilty for spending money on it, because I knew the only reason I bought that was because some stupid TikTok video that was probably sponsored recommended it to me. This is especially dangerous to people who struggle with a shopping addiction. The creator of the video I just showed you admitted herself that the reason why she ended up with this many products was because she was in fact addicted to buying things. And the skincare advice on TikTok definitely encourages this type of behavior, because people feel like they aren't buying things just to buy things, but because a product serves a purpose, you know, it's anti-aging, it's good for their skin, so they have a reason to buy that. Content about skincare, in my opinion, likes to play on anxiety, and specifically anxiety around aging. You know what they say, start using retinol in your 20s and you'll thank yourself later. Prevention is better than cure. And while that might be true, it's a great justification for people who struggle with hoarding, overconsumption, or a shopping addiction. And yes, not every creator has to be responsible for everyone's triggers. I completely agree with this. But I think the content, especially the excessive content about huge skincare hauls or like overconsumption in general, people showing how much stuff they bought and how much stuff they are using every day. I think content like this contributes to a bigger problem that starts on TikTok and then it leaks outside of it and influences people's personal lives. Brands are also doing absolutely everything in their power to make sure that you buy their products. I mean, obviously, and the big thing for me is the packaging. I mean, some of it is very alluring, some of it looks bougie, other looks more kind of like fun and creative, and you just know it's going to look good in your bathroom. My apartment is generally speaking filled with like little figurines and like teddy bears. I generally really love having color in my space and my life, and sometimes when I go shopping and I see the skincare in this like fun colorful packaging, I just want to buy it because I know it's going to look good in my apartment. But then I pick it up, read the ingredients and what the product supposedly does, and I realize that either I don't need it or I tried it and it didn't work for me, and it's not worth buying it just so my bathroom has a little bit more color to it. People are buying things they absolutely don't need because they get influenced by this content. They believe that if they spend some money, if they buy another product, it will change their skin and in turn it will change their lives, or it will protect them from aging. But the truth is, they are wasting money on products that very often do minimal or even no change. This leads to producing too much waste, unused stuff ends up in a landfill, your bank account is empty, and your skin isn't really that much better than it was before you bought something new. So, what's the alternative?
I am 45 years old, and when I look at the 6,742 skincare products that I have stacked up on my bathroom counter, I feel angry that I have this compulsion to buy every new serum and every new moisturizer, every new treatment, and whatever I can to try to stop the signs of age. And I'd like to consider myself a pretty content person who doesn't really care that she's aging. I haven't had any Botox, I haven't had any lip filler, I haven't had any of the extra stuff. Not so much because I have anything against it, I just know I'll be the one to like swell up and have some kind of weird reaction. And I'm not afraid of getting older. I find that I'm wanting to buy the next thing. I'm easily marketed to, and it just makes me angry.
She raises some very good points here, and I think for some people, buying skincare stops being about your skin and buying becomes the hobby. There is this sweet feeling of getting something new, and this is something I especially experience with skincare. When you open a product and it smells nice and the consistency is just perfect and you're just so happy that something you bought is so great. But from my experience, I start using it long term and realize it's not actually that great, and I just fell into another marketing scheme. And that also makes me angry that I'm just easily marketed to.
Especially when I think about my grandparents and how both of my grandmothers would have one or two products that they were just loyal to, and they use those products for years. I want to be in a routine, like an old person who has oatmeal every morning and they don't vary from it. This year, my goal is to find a basic skincare routine that's not 37 steps, and I just want to stick with it.
And I think this is the only good and worthwhile alternative here, because once you figure out what things work for you and what doesn't, once you establish this routine that you know is great for your skin, it will be much easier for you to resist the marketing and the influencer propaganda. And don't get me wrong, I still get the urge to buy new things, as I said, I guess I'm easily marketed to. But then I try to think back to the time when I overdid it, and I just know that buying another product that I don't need can cause more damage than good. The hard part is getting there, because the process of trying to figure out what works for you and what doesn't requires patience. And that's why it isn't really so popular on TikTok, because TikTok is absolutely allergic to patience. I mean, everything on that app is fast. The only things that matter are fast results and fast transformations. And skincare doesn't really work like this, because your skin needs time to show you what it likes and what it doesn't without 10 other products muddying the signal. Let me know about your skincare routine in the comments. Do you prefer this long routine that allows you to kind of relax and focus on yourself a little bit, or do you prefer something more minimalistic like me? Let me know in the comments. If you don't know what to watch next, check out this video of mine. Obviously, don't forget to subscribe, and see you in the next one. Bye!